All right, y'all, back to work. Boy, fantastic job today. I love seeing everyone making money with us right now in the morning trade room. Hope you guys made a bunch of money today as well. And what a day today. We had a 4-year low on the CPI. That was pretty cool to see. Trump secured almost $1 trillion in investment into the US from Saudi Arabia this morning. And NVIDIA, $1 million chip order from the UAE alone. The markets loved it. It's no surprise we get that big move going higher today. Now, that big move is a really big clue because now it's safe to say everyone's trying to buy a pullback, buy the dip tomorrow. Now, wait a second. Buying pullbacks, buying dips, it all sounds very easy. But if you have any experience in day trading, you know that timing the perfect pullback entry, the entry timing isn't always easy. So in tonight's video, I want to share with you all a couple real simple tricks I use to time the perfect pullbacks, because with a big move like this, that's where the money's probably made for tomorrow. You're gonna love how simple this technique is to pick that perfect pullback. So enough of the intro. Charts are ready. I get the entire game plan ready for you. Let's dive right in, get these charts marked up, and go make some more money on what should be a fantastic Wednesday morning. S&P SPYs ready to go tonight. Nasdaq triple Qs are all ready. I've got 4 important clues on the charts in front of me that are telling me where I think the winning trades are waiting for tomorrow. The first clue is always right here on the hourly time frame. You probably don't need me to tell you this, but it's very important you know. Right now we are bullish overall on the S&P SPY, bullish overall Nasdaq triple Qs. Remember, I like to use this hourly chart as an overall directional filter that will keep us focused on the best side of the market for tomorrow. That's one of 4 clues. I have 3 more important clues on some lower time frames, some tick charts. We're going to grab that in a second, but let's not forget the schedule for tomorrow. There's no major news for tomorrow. I'm not really watching any major news tomorrow. We'll definitely, though, be keeping an eye on more trade deal announcements. We heard more from the White House today. Of course, Trump's in the Middle East right now at the investment summit, but according to trade advisors right now, bunch of trade deals coming out very soon. That's definitely something we're watching here closely next 24 to 48 hours. And we know right now, our focus right now shifts to that retail sales, that Empire State Manufacturing Index. Powell speaks on Thursday. That's our big news we know about. Not tomorrow, but of course on Thursday. Tomorrow, though, be keeping an eye out for more headlines out of the Middle East Investor Summit. And of course, more trade deals we assume are in the hopper from the White House. Let's get back to our charts, though, because it's good to know when the news is, but the money is made on the charts. I mentioned earlier, one clue was this bullish move here on the hourly, but as always, we're not going to trade off time charts. We like tick charts to trade off of. Tick charts are based on volume. Tick charts make entry timing so much easier. All the time frames, by the way, in case you're watching for the first time tonight, all the chart time frames, upper left-hand corner. And that, my friends, is the only indicator we need to find lots of winning trades each week. That is the 21 EMA. There are 3, I know a lot of clues on the tick charts here right now. 3 clues on the tick charts. First clue is another big move going higher. Now, why is a big move a big clue? Because we don't want to buy high, I want to buy low. And usually that means a 2-legged pullback. The best ones are a measured move, buy it right back up and retest that high. The second clue, even more important, is that range right there. Now, why is that range important? Well, because ranges are magnets and they love to rotate. They rotate using things like expanding triangles or megaphones. We use techniques like pendulum swings, the amount above, the amount below. We talk about that a lot here on these videos. That range is a magnet and it wants to rotate. But arguably, my favorite clue is the range below us. Now, why would that previous range be an important clue? Because one of the most consistent things I know about ranges is that when they break out, it's only a matter of time before they break out pullback. So that final clue really helps us wrap all this stuff together. We know we're bullish overall on the hourly. Big move up, 2-legged pullback, range above us acts a magnet. Previous range is begging for a breakout pullback. Now you'll notice I got support levels here. support levels here, support levels here. I can buy a pullback at each of these three levels, but as you can clearly see, some of them are higher than other ones, right? I have to use a slightly different entry technique to buy the higher ones than I will on the lower ones. I mentioned earlier, we're trying to time the perfect pullback, and knowing where those levels are will help us wrap this all together, time that perfect pullback entry. For example, my favorite trade for tomorrow is I would love to combine that channel with that previous breakout pullback zone right there. My favorite trade for tomorrow is I would love to run this thing a bit lower. What I'll do is look for a bear trap. Now, bear traps, I love to use the 21 EMA, wait for the price to pull back, let the bears dig themselves into a hole right here. Let them try once, let them try twice. Once those bears try twice, now I know where their pain is. Now I know where their stops are. Remember, this market wants to go back up and take out that high. So once those bears are trapped, I'm going to buy right into those stop losses. Now remember, the easiest way to make more money is to add to your winners. Once we see that bear trap start working in our favor now, I now look for an add-on pattern. Add-on trades are easy, very important. First, shallow pullback. It barely misses that 21 EMA. Then we get a higher high in price, and the move right below that low is an add-on. In our free video classes, in our trade room, we call these bear traps and add-ons. My goal on this will be take profit back off at the retest the high, and remember, the amount below the range, the amount above the range, that range wants to rotate, so leave that runner using that pendulum swing. Now, here's a question. We may not get that bear trap down there. We may not get the bear trap and back up again. It may just whoop and run right back up again. Those can be a bit challenging on the emotions because you'll want to chase after it and go higher. If we make a nice strong run lower and we bounce back up and we don't get that bear trap, I'm going to shift my game plan now, a small adjustment. I'm going to find a channel off the highs, off that low, and remember the magic happens. Find one of those prior swings, right? Look at the prior swings right there. And you want to find a prior swing that lines up right around the low of that channel. We call this first test is the best test in our trade room. Now, in these scenarios, what almost always happens is you'll get just below that 21 EMA. Look for a bear trap here, right? So bears try once, bears try twice, trap those bears in. And then remember, this range is a magnet. It wants to rotate going higher. So as it rolls higher, look for that separation away from the moving average, that higher high in price. I love these add-on trades. We found so many of these recently in our trade room. If we don't get that bear trap down there, not ideal, but I don't control the markets. If it V bottoms off that low, I'm going to be getting aggressive now at getting that first test is the best test off the low of that channel, bear trap, and then get on that add-on. Again, targets come off here, up at the retest of the high, and whatever you do, leave that runner because as we go lower, it's going to want to run and rotate going back higher again. That will tell you where to leave that final runner. Now, let's cover a couple more variations on this. For example, I love the idea of a retest trade. A lot of times what happens is we'll see a strong run down, we'll get a beautiful bear trap here, we'll go up, we'll hold the underbelly of the range, and we'll come crashing back down again. Now, this may seem like a reversal, but it's not. This is a retest trade, one of my favorite trades we see in our trade room. I want to dive deeper into that, but let's slow down for a couple moments here right now because I know most folks watching right now, you know these patterns already. You're making money with these already. But if you're here for the first time right now, this might be a brand new language, a brand new strategy. Don't you worry though, I teach this entire system in my free trading classes. In fact, I have a ton of examples of bear traps add-ons, retest trades, deep pullback entries. Guys, I want to help you time better entries with this stuff, make money with this stuff. What I'll do is I'll put a link up top here for you, upper right-hand corner, hit that link that popped up there, take that free trading course, because the strategy I teach in that short video series will teach you a simple trick we use in our members trade room that literally tells me exactly where to find the winning trades each day. More importantly though, I want to teach you my 4 favorite entry patterns so you can time better entries, make a lot more repeatable money each week. Guys, the markets are way too good right now not to be banking consistent profits. So if you're still missing the best entries each day, if you've lost your confidence in your current strategy, what are you waiting for right now? Hit that link that popped up there. Watch that free trading course. Everyone loves all the trade examples I include in that short video series. The best part is it is completely free for you. Also be aware too, guys, I'm going to put all the important links you need to learn this strategy, learn the roadmap, time better entries, make a lot more consistent profits, get your confidence back in your trading. Guys, most folks start making money all on their own, all from that free video course. So pause the video, hit that link below. I'm going to put all the links you need below the video down in the description of the YouTube video. Oh, I almost forgot too. If you're on Twitter or X, I post a ton of charts and videos and mindset stuff throughout the day on Twitter X. If you're on that platform, give me a follow. Again, all the details you'll need to learn more, follow along, time better entries, get your confidence back, hopefully earn a lot more because of it, are linked up in the description of this YouTube video. All right, so now you know where, if you're new here for the first time right now you know where to get a lot more examples of all the entry patterns I'm talking about. Where we leave off here right now, yes, one of my favorite all-time trades in our trade room are called retest trades. So here's what happens oftentimes. Oftentimes we see a big move, we get a big pullback, and we get that bear trap down here, right? 1, 2, we bear trap back up again. But oftentimes, because this pullback has to be so large to attract in more buyers at lower prices, oftentimes all of that momentum going lower, what happens is we get that deep pullback, we do trap in the bears here. I always go for a 1-to-1, right? So stop to target. I always go for a quick 1-to-1, get that stop up to my point of entry, remove all of that risk. You learn that stuff inside the free trading course, right? Okay, so in a range market, oftentimes, remember, ranges love to break out pullback. So every once in a while, if we get that really strong pullback, it has to be strong because it has to come back deep enough to attract more buyers in. Oftentimes, all that momentum, it'll pull up, hold the underbelly of that range, break out pullback, and make another leg going lower. Again, as I said earlier, this will feel like a reversal, but it's not. Look at the hourly time frame right now. We're way high up right now. It may have to go a little bit lower into deeper pullback zones to attract in more buyers here. Here's where the magic happens. Anybody who sells on that pullback, where do you think their profit targets are? Yeah, those sellers, they become buyers down here. So let me ask you a question. Is this a good place to sell? Of course not. It's the worst possible place to sell because now you're selling as all these bears up here become buyers right there. This is a great place for a bear trap. Same basic bear trap. As that moving average comes down, and guys, I'm not going to waste your time right now talking about some magic indicator you can buy. That stuff doesn't work. What works best is find key levels and trap traders on the wrong side of that hourly time for momentum. So we're bullish on the hourly. If I run back to that low, trap them in once, twice. Remember, like I teach in the free video course, higher highs. Sellers want to sell high. Once they try twice, now I know where their stops are. If you're caught short, you get stopped out, you're buying your way out, it squeezes higher. Now promise me one thing. If we get into a retest trade tomorrow, promise me, let this thing run. Because now everyone's trapped in. If we're lucky, a lot of times we don't get an add-on. A lot of times these retest trades, they fool so many people, it just rips without it. But if I can, I'm going to grab more on the add-on trade. All right. And remember, when I say retest trade, it really is anywhere below that low, right? It could be anywhere below this area, right? It go a bit lower. A bit lower is fine. A bit lower is even better, because oftentimes what happens is that breakout leg creates a measuring leg, right? So oftentimes it goes a bit below that low. So it does not need to bounce right off that low, anywhere below that low. And the trick we use in trade room is the breakout leg, measuring leg. That kind of gives us that zone down there of where to get that retest trade. Retest trades, if you're a student of mine, you know what we love, retest trades in our trade room. Now, here's a question. Here's two questions for you. What if we don't get that deep pullback right now? What if this market rips higher here? I mean, we've got some great things going on right now. We got Trump in Saudi Arabia right now, at the investment conference in the Middle East right now. Again, lots of great news happening right now for trade deals. We may not get that pullback. Now, I want to talk about going higher, because it may run up and jackknife back down again. I want to make sure you know how to predict that fake out breakout. I'm going to cover that in 2 seconds. First, though, I mentioned earlier that this level right there, right? That level right there, I can buy that level here, right? Again, different levels are going to give us different entry techniques. So if I have a shallow pullback, what's my challenge right now? I'm not getting the price to go deeper. Remember, after a big move like this, we're waiting for a deep pullback to buy nice and low. If all I get is below this 96 3/4, or if all we get right now, if all we get is this right here, and we start running higher here right now, there's one type of entry pattern I'm going to use, and it will be what we call a technical bear trap in our free trading class. It's very simple. I want to see a higher high in price, but now instead of buying above that high right there, I want to buy below that low right there. What this does is it gets me in at a bit lower price. It dramatically increases my odds of success, because now my target comes off a lot earlier. I'm not buying as we go higher. It's very important that you understand the difference between a deep pullback. A deep pullback, I can trap the bears in right there. I get a small amount of risk for a really big amount of reward. I can be relatively aggressive on those types of trades. On a shallow pullback, though, I don't have that same benefit of a lopsided risk reward ratio. So if this thing starts to rotate higher here right now, or if all we do is get below that low, right? If all we do is below the low, I'm looking for this pattern. Bears once, higher high, bears twice. The most important thing is, if we see a shallow pullback, I've got to get in underneath those prior lows, right? That's the rule of thumb if we don't get that nice deep pullback. Screenshot that, write that down. Of course, we'll do it together tomorrow morning in our trade room. Okay, now let's talk about what if this thing goes higher here? Because if we're not careful, there could be some bull traps up there. I don't want us to fall for that possible trap up top there. Let's grab Nasdaq right now. What a move you can see here. Did you see the headline today? NVIDIA got a 1 million chip order from the UAE alone today. Remember last week, Trump talked about easing all of the chip restrictions that were in place from the Biden administration. And boy, they did not waste very long at exploiting that opportunity. A 1 million chip order from one country alone. No wonder the Nasdaq just got a horse here and took off here for today. Now on the Nasdaq right now, before we dive into tick charts here and talk more about this, if you're enjoying this video here tonight, please help me grow this channel by hitting that like button for me, and please make sure you subscribe. I know we're all busy people these days, but guys, hitting the like button and subscribing, it really helps me grow this YouTube channel. So thank you so much for the likes, the subs, all the ongoing support right now in the comment section below. Now, let's go roll our sleeves up here right now and talk about the Nasdaq. We know we're overall bullish, no doubt about that. But again, a big move, right? A really big move here. In most cases, a big move higher is going to want a two-legged pullback. Again, think about a measured move. The best ones are a measured move. And of course, that range up there, that range is going to want to rotate. We know ranges love to rotate with expanding triangles, with things like pendulum swings, right? And of course, The beautiful range is that range down there. That range down there gives us two different types of breakout pullback zones. It is very easy to see now. Line that channel up off the high, off that low. It's very easy to see now that nice two-legged pullback. Trap those bears in, squeeze those stops back up. All the same variations of this I talked about earlier on the S&P can easily be applied now here on the Nasdaq, right? All the retest trades, run down, buy it up, the retest trade. Again, all the same stuff I mentioned earlier there on the Nasdaq, or sorry, on the S&P can be applied over to the Nasdaq. But what if we don't get it? What if we don't pull back right now? What if this market runs higher here? There's a couple things I want you to be aware of. Now remember, we are way high up right now. So this could easily go lower, jump up higher, and then kick right back down again. Remember how ranges work. The amount above, the amount below. Now here's the deal. I'm going to warn you right now, if that happens, this is going to feel like a reversal. Look back at your hourly time frame. It's not a reversal. It requires a lot bigger move than that to be a full-blown reversal. So do not be surprised right now. Do not be surprised right now if we see this thing go up overnight as euphoria continues right now, but at some point early tomorrow, the buyers can't hold it and we jump right back down again into what should be where the buyers are waiting. One technique will be mark the highs, mark the low. That gives you now our level. And again, don't forget, we're not going to blindly buy that area. We'll use that same bear trap technique, right? Wait for the pullback, bears once, bears twice, always a higher high. And remember, what do ranges do? Ranges love to rotate. So as we rotate higher, guys, I say this all the time in our trade room, if there's one situation where you must add to your winners and you must let your winners run, your job during a range market is to let those trades run, the amount below, the amount above. That now tells you where to leave that final target. And again, bear trap, add-on, targets, targets, pendulum swing, very simple, right? Trade that rotation. Now, here's a question though. If we start running higher here, would there be a giveaway? Is there any clue that would tell me that we're not going to get that fake out breakout? Is there anything I could use up there? There is the 21 EMA. If I pop up and I start seeing separation, what almost always happens is, like, look over here right now. Look over there right now. Look how the pullbacks, when I say separation, that's what I mean. All right? The pullbacks, when it pops up and it pulls back, most trends, they're going to overlap. They're going to overlap. A strong trend, though, will shallow. That makes sense right there? Again, the shallow pullbacks, that is the separation that I'm talking about. Separation equals strength. So if I pop up and I start seeing that same separation now, separating and grinding, going higher here, that tells me it's almost a guarantee we're not going to get that big fake out breakout going higher. At that point, what I'll do is I'm going to start drawing trend lines off the highs, bring it down off that low. I would love to find what we call a pop and grind move, right? It pops up, it grinds. I would love to come in and combine the low of that channel right along with that trading range top, right? Think about a breakout pullback with a trading range or with a channel aligned up there with it. That would be fantastic. Or a lot of times what happens is it'll break out, it'll jump going higher, and then of course up here now, we don't want to buy up here now. I want to buy a pullback, and I'll buy a breakout pullback off that range. Breakout pullbacks are almost always a two-legged pullback. One leg, two leg. Again, the perfect one, the best ones are measured moves, right? Measured moves. They aren't always measured moves, but the best ones usually really are a measured move. That will tell me where to find the entry. And again, if we're lucky on this, we'll use the previous highs here as a key level support. I'm watching for channels off the highs, off those lows like that. Makes sense, right? Now, get below that moving average, trap those bears in once and twice. There's that bear trap, find that add-on, and keep on working the system. As we say in our trade room, don't overthink this stuff too much right now, right? Turn off the news media, trade the chart in front of you. If we run up, and again, if we separate and begin to grind away from that moving average, that's your cue now. We're not looking at a fake out breakout. We're now looking for a breakout pullback off that trading range. Will we get a larger channel like this to buy the pullback there? Will it be a pop and grind like I mentioned earlier? So those are some scenarios though I'm watching here for tomorrow if we do continue going higher. And remember, a lot of times too, it'll snap higher into a range up here. Remember, the new range is the magnet. The previous range is the breakout pullback. These are always my favorite because now we pull back. We use the previous range for the breakout pullback. The new range now is the magnet. Are you getting this by now, right? Repetition. Okay, we break down. We trap those bears in once, twice. We know ranges love to rotate. We add to our winner, we take some profit off at the high, but we always leave that runner for that pendulum swing. Again, like I said earlier, if there's one scenario where you must leave a runner, it's during those range rotations. And once you learn ranges, you'll be like me. You'll wish every day was a sideways range day. Guys and gals, that's our game plan for tomorrow. It's been a hell of a week this week. It's only Tuesday right now. Big day coming tomorrow. Hopefully I'll see you soon sometimes with us in the morning trade room. Don't forget too, speaking of morning trade room, that's the place to be tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock Eastern time. I'm going to put all the important links you need to learn the strategy, learn the roadmap, start timing better entries, get your confidence, your consistency, your P&L back on track. Then come join us in the trade room, 8 o'clock Eastern time each morning, and we'll do it together. In the meantime, guys, hope you learned a bunch in tonight's video. Hope you use this knowledge to earn a bunch tomorrow. And as always, be well out there. Be nice to each other, will ya? And you better be here tomorrow. Adios, amigos. Bye for now.